This is my 2013 Porsche Cayenne GTS. It needs new front brakes, so stick around and find out if this is a job for a 100% certified amateur. Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. A little bit different change of pace on today's episode. We've got the 2013 Porsche Cayenne GTS in the garage, and I need to replace the front brakes. So what I really want to see is how difficult is this job for your average DIYer. Now there are a lot of videos online, and I'm going to be using the one from Pelican Parts as the basis for my work on this, mainly because it's just very succinct and to the point, and there's not a lot of kind of fluff or talking. So this video is not a how-to video by any means. This is going to be a documentation of what it's like for just your average run-of-the-mill do-it-yourselfer in their own garage to see how much money you can save by doing it yourself. Now, like I said, the front brakes need to be replaced. The rear brakes were actually done by the previous owner shortly before I purchased it. And the previous owner just so happened to be a service advisor at the local Porsche dealership. So I definitely trust everything that was done on this vehicle, even though it is pretty high mileage. That being said, it's time to get the brakes done. Now, the first step is going to be to break the torque on all of the lug nuts while the car is on the ground. All of the lug nuts are 19 millimeter, and there is one wheel lock on here. Luckily, I have the key for it. So the reason for that is while it's on the ground so the wheels won't spin, to get those lug nuts broken loose. And unfortunately, my quick jacks are not strong enough to lift this extremely heavy vehicle. So my quick jacks are the 5000 TL, so they will only lift a vehicle that's up to 5,000 pounds. This one is right at that limit, but I also have almost 3/4 of a tank of gas, so I'm not going to risk it. So what I'm going to do is jack up each corner one at a time. Oh, geez, that's all right, so the torque is broken on all of the lug nuts. They definitely were not even. Some of them were much more difficult than others. Regardless, that's all done. Now the next step, because this is a GTS and it has the factory air suspension, we have to put it in jack mode. So I'll take you inside and show you how that's done. Okay, so first I'm going to put the key in. I'm actually going to start it up.
Got a real nice sounding engine.
Just to hear that, turn the radio down so I don't get a copyright strike. And the way you do it on these is on the right is your ride height control. So what I'm going to do is hit the up button to raise it, and then I'm going to hold it. And after a couple of seconds, it should start flashing red. Give it time, and there it goes. So that tells me that it is now in jack position. So the next step is now to jack up one of the sides of the car. So I'm going to take you underneath and show you where the jack point is on this. All right, so I've already got the jack kind of in place, but if you come under here and look underneath, there is a jack point right there. In fact, let me lower the jack so you can see what it looks like. So this is kind of like the normal jack point. There is also a factory jack point, which I believe is somewhere under here, where the factory would put it on, like, say, a 4-post lift, or maybe that's what they used when they were assembling the car. But just for the sake of doing the brakes, I'm going to lift it from this point here. I've got the front passenger side jacked up, and you may have seen me use this little device here. Basically, it is a jack stand for your jack. Now, I'm still going to put this jack stand under the car just to be safe, but what this does is allow you to essentially use your jack as a jack stand, and it is called a jack rod, which is kind of funny.
I don't think that's funny at all, I'm sorry.
But anyway, this works really well because if you're in a pinch and you don't want to have to break out jack stands at all, these work really good, and I forget what the weight rating is on them, but it should be more than plenty. Regardless, I'll throw another jack stand under the car just to be safe, but that should be enough to be able to get this wheel off and work on this brake. Now you may have seen me thread in this rod here. On these European vehicles, they do not use studs, they use lug bolts. So therefore, when you remove all of the lug bolts, you don't want the wheel to fall off and chip your brake calipers or anything like that. So I use one of these studs that actually threads in, so that way when I'm taking the wheel off, even if it falls a little bit, it's going to hit this stud and not hit the brake caliper. Okay, so here we have the brake caliper. It's in pretty decent shape. There's a couple of nicks, and you can see right here, this is probably when somebody was taking the wheel off and let it fall onto the brake caliper and it leaves a chip. So regardless, while this is off, I am going to clean it up. I'm probably going to do that first. Just while I'm playing around with it and everything, I'd rather it be a little bit cleaner. I am going to have to remove the caliper from the rotor, and that's with these 2 bolts right here. You do need to replace these bolts, so they are stretch bolts, so one-time use only. I had ordered a new set of those, so I'll be putting them on. I also am going to want to try to figure out how to support this brake caliper while I have it removed. So I'll figure out something to put underneath, but to begin with, let's get this brake rotor cleaned up. All right, so after a few minutes of cleaning it off, I did not do a picture-perfect job, and I'm fine with that. Some of this brake dust is just kind of embedded in, and it would probably take quite a bit of polishing to get that off, and I'm just not in the mindset to do that right now. But regardless, it looks much better than it did. In the future, I may try to find some stickers that fit here, and because obviously this is faded and there is a chip here. So I'll try to see if there's some touch-up paint specifically for Porsche red brake calipers, and if there is, great, I'll get some and touch that up in the future. If not, no big deal. This car has 160,000 miles, so I'm good with that. Now it's time to get them off. And I think the first thing I need to do is disconnect the wear sensor. So that's right here, and I don't know if I'll be able to get this off with one hand, and it doesn't look like I am. So I'm gonna try to get this off, and there are also a couple of bolts that are holding on the brake line back behind here. So I don't know if you'd be able to see in there or not. Regardless, I'm gonna try to get those off, and then I will report back once I find out what I'm doing. All right, so I did have to remove a couple of Torx bits. So one was up here, that's kind of a bracket that holds on to the brake line, as well as one here. It was I think a T30 up here and a T40 here. So that should allow a little bit more flexibility once I get this caliper off. And you can see I didn't do a very good job of cleaning the backside, but nobody sees that, so I could care less. Also, I needed to turn the wheel towards me a little bit to get access to especially this screw or bolt up here. There's just no way you can get a bit in if it is facing straight ahead. So you're gonna need to turn the wheel towards you to get access to that. But now I should be ready to try to get this caliper off by getting off these monstrous bolts here. All right, so I've got those monstrous bolts out now, but the caliper is still pretty stuck on the rotor. So one of the things I want to do, or what I've seen online, is you want to try to either pry the brake pads away from the rotor itself, or you can try to push one way or another to try to free it up and pull it off. But one of the things I want to do before I do that, since it's going to be forcing brake fluid back into the reservoir, I want to go up into the engine bay and take a look at the brake reservoir and make sure that it's not all the way at the top. So time to pop open the hood and take a look at that brake fluid reservoir and see where the level's at. Now I believe the brake fluid reservoir is underneath this panel here, so you just have to pull back this part of the weather stripping, and I think this should pull right out, but I have been wrong before. Nope, it just pops right out. And there it is. So unfortunately, I can't really see where the level is there. So I'm gonna crack it open and see if I can see it. And ooh, it looks like it is right at the top. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get out my turkey baster. First, I'm gonna take out this little screen that's in here, if I can get it out. And then I'll try to suck out some of the fluid that's in there so that I don't make a mess. All right, so it was about at that point where my phone died. So I had no video and I had to put my phone on the charger. But as you can see here, I have the driver's side, make that the passenger side is done. The wheel is back on and I am now back on the driver's side. So I'm basically at the point where I was on the passenger side. And you can see here, I have this caliper cleaned up. I have the bolts loose. And I just separated the pads from the rotor. I just basically took a screwdriver right here where the brake pad wear sensors go in, and I started prying out a little bit. If I was reusing the rotors, which is never recommended, but let's face it, we all do it, I probably wouldn't have wanted to do that, but since I'm replacing the rotors anyway, I figured what the heck. And this way, I don't have to get a caliper spreader or anything like that in there once I get this off. So now it's just a matter of getting these bolts out and then getting a cardboard box here like I had on the other side, pull the caliper off, and then I can get this rotor off. So here you can see these pads were definitely getting low. So definitely a good thing to change these. So happy that this is getting done. All right, I've got the rotor off. You can see I had to give it a little bit of persuasion, but there is definitely a pretty sizable lip here. So, and you can see how kind of scored that these rotors are. So I am replacing these with some new Zimmerman rotors. And man, these things are absolutely massive. So I believe they're 360 millimeters. I can't even really tell you what that compares to. I still think that on my old 2015 RS5, they were larger, but I would have to confirm that. I'll have to look that up. But regardless, you can see here that I have it off. So next I am going to clean up the hub surface here with a wire wheel and my drill, and then I'll get the new rotor on, and then I'll get the new pads installed in here. And for brake pads, I'm going with Hawk Performance ceramic pads. I absolutely despise brake dust, and this is not a track vehicle by any means. So I am more than willing to sacrifice a little bit of initial bite for a lot less cleaning to have to do. And the dust that does come off of these is more like a light tan, which honestly on the bronze wheels on this will probably show up a lot less than your semi-metallic black or dark gray dust. So hopefully these work out pretty well. I have used Hawk ceramics on a number of cars in the past, including my RS5 and on my 944 Turbo, and they definitely give off a lot less dust. And quite frankly, especially on the RS5, I did not notice any loss of stopping power by using these Hawk pads. So they're not cheap by any means. Here's the part number for those that are interested in maybe using them on your Cayenne. And you can see I have brand new brake wear sensors here, as well as new caliper bolts because these are one-time use. I also have a new bolt that secures the rotor to the hub, as well as these here. And I forget what these are called at the moment, but I've got new ones, so I put them on the passenger side. I'm going to put them on the driver's side as well. All right, so they weren't horrible to begin with, but they are pretty well removed of any rust that was on there, especially on the surface where the rotor is going to go. So I'm going to clean this off with a little brake clean, and then the new rotor can go on.
It was at this moment that he knew. He f***ed up.
All right, so at this point, what you just saw was where I realized I made a very big mistake. I forgot that these rotors are side specific. The way that the fins are moving on each side is specific to the side, one for the driver, one for the passenger. And I forgot to check when I did the passenger side. And I had a 50-50 shot and I got it wrong. So that's why I don't gamble. So basically, off camera, I had to go and redo the passenger side. So basically now the entire front is jacked up. I had to take the wheel back off, take the caliper back off and the rotor, put the correct one on, put the wheel, everything back together, put the wheel back on, and now I'm back to where I was. So now I can get this rotor removed and put the correct side one on, and then get this thing back together. All right, so I have the correct rotor on this time, and I have the retaining bolt tightened down. I have the brake pads out of this caliper, and I have the new slider clips in there. So these are kind of a pain to get out. They were really in there, and I doubt they had ever been changed before. So you just have to kind of take a screwdriver and kind of pry at them a little bit, like on one of the sides, and get them to pop out. To get them to go in, the new ones to go in, is actually pretty simple. You just push on them and they just snap into place. So they're a lot easier to get in than they are to get out. So now it's time to get the brake pads out and get the back side of them lubricated with a little bit of silicone grease. I use just this silicone brake lubricant, and what I do is I put them on the back side of the caliper. So you want to make sure that you've got it on all the areas where any of the pistons in the brake caliper, and these are 6 piston, so 3 on each side. And I also took and used some brake clean and cleaned the surface of the pistons, just to hopefully prevent any chance of vibration or noise or anything like that. So once again, I'm going to lubricate the back side of these brake pads and get them into the caliper. So you see that there's these holes on there, and they slide on these pins. So one thing to not forget is to get the brake wear sensor installed before you get them in there. Makes it a lot easier. So I've got the pads back in the caliper. They're all lubed up, and I have the caliper back on and the bolts installed. They're basically just like finger tight at this point. So it's 104 foot-pounds that I am going to tighten this down to. So I have my torque wrench. So the next step is to get these torqued down, and then really we're in the home stretch, or I'm in the home stretch at least, and I just need to get these brackets bolted back on, connect the wear sensor, get the wheel straightened out, put the wheel back on, and get the truck lowered down. And there you have it. So far, this job is almost done. Everything is put back together. I have the wear sensor plugged back in. Everything is bolted in. It was kind of a pain trying to get those bolts back in on the back side. You're kind of flying blind, so you probably saw that I used a mirror to try to get everything lined up. So you're probably going to want to use one of those, especially if you're doing this on the ground. If you got it up on a lift and you're standing up and you can get around and see it, it's a whole different story. But so far, the brakes are all done. Now I just got to get the wheel back on and get these down. So once I get the wheel back on, lower down, I'm going to torque both wheels. I'm going to make sure that the fluid looks good, and then I have to take this thing for a drive and bed these brakes in. So that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed it or it helped you out at all, I'd appreciate it if you could give me a like. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so you can see my progress as I continue to do work on this 2013 Porsche Cayenne GTS. I've got lots of other maintenance items as well as a few modifications that you might enjoy. So thanks for sticking around this long, and I'll catch you on the next one.